Hi there, good morning everybody. I'm Lauren from Go for Growth. If any of you are unaware, Go for Growth are an organisation supporting North Yorkshire County Council with the approved provider list for adult social care. So we do have a number of providers registered for today's session, so I am just going to allow a few moments for people to join. Just to let you know, whilst we do get started, that today's session is being recorded, and we will be sending the recording out using Go for Growth social media pages, including our LinkedIn and Facebook. We will also be sending the recording of today's session out in an email to any registrants from today's session. Now, the drop-in sessions are typically used as an open Q&A. We do also try and give any updates that we feel may be relevant during the sessions. Any questions that you do have are to be asked in either the chat or Q&A function, which I'll be keeping my eye on. If you would also like to use the chat function to introduce yourselves, you are more than welcome to do so. And today's session is a 45-minute block. However, if we don't need to use up the entire full 45 minutes, we are able to end the session sooner, depending on the number of questions that we do have and whether we do manage to get through all of those. So these sessions are typically used for process-related support, process-related questions. However, if there are any technical questions that are asked in today's session, I am happy to look at taking these back to North Yorkshire County Council to have these answered as a clarification question. I will note that the deadline for clarification questions is tomorrow, so the 15th of July at 12 noon. Any questions that I am unable to answer in today's session, I will take back and aim to answer in the follow-up email, which I will be sending on to the back of today's session. I do have some updates on process-related clarification questions that I am also wanting to run over in today's session, which I will get started with in just a few moments once we've had a chance for everybody to join. As I said previously, if you would like to introduce yourself in the chat, or if you do have any questions ready, if you want to start popping those in the Q&A or chat function, and I'll be happy to run over those once I've been through the clarification questions. I do also have access to the full Volume 5 application form today, so if there are any questions specifically relating to Volume 5, I am happy to run over those. So if you have been joining the drop-in sessions frequently, some of the clarification questions relating to process that I am going to be running over just now, you may have heard last week, but I am just going to run over these for anybody who is joining the drop-in sessions for the first time today. So the first question was a question raised on the 4th of July regarding word count. So the question was, please can you confirm whether headings and subheadings are included in the quality question word counts? The response is yes, so headings and subheadings do contribute towards the word count. So the next question is regarding tables. The question was asking to please confirm whether the use of tables is permitted in the quality questions. And the answer to that one is tables are permitted, and any words in the tables do contribute towards the word count. The next question, which was raised on the 6th of July regarding the application form. So it states that the application form asks, please provide a brief description of the contract delivered, including evidence as to your technical capability in this market. Do we need to provide this information if the contract example we are providing is our current North Yorkshire County Council provider contract, as you will already know the details of the contract and our technical capability in this market? The answer is that yes, you will need to provide that information, even if North Yorkshire County Council is your current contract. So do provide those details. Next is a question also raised on the 6th of July, and it is relating to Appendix 3. So the question is, if the bank account details are the same for all of our services, please confirm that Appendix 3 can be completed once with the head office address. Now, the answer to this one is that so North Yorkshire County Council do require an Appendix 3 for each service, so each of the lists you are applying for. Next then is a question raised on the 7th of July and relating to word count. So thank you for confirming that we can use diagrams and they are included in the word count. Are we allowed to add pictures, for example, a photo of a poster that helps evidence our response? If so, would the words within the photograph count towards the word count? The answer from North Yorkshire County Council is that posters or pictures can be added. Words within would not count towards the word count. The next then is a question raised on the 12th of July relating to the checklist. So it's regarding what documents need to be submitted as they don't want to miss anything. So this provider states that they are just applying for community-based support services, area 3D. And they have read on the clarification answers so far that you don't need to provide any of our policies, but did want to clarify what we do need to submit. Therefore, can you confirm anything in addition to the following, please? So that covers Volume 5 application form, Appendix 1 insurance, Appendix 2 pricing, and 2 years of accounts. So North Yorkshire have specified that you need to provide Volume 5 accounts for 2 years or an acceptable alternative, the insurance form, pricing, the supplier setup form, and there is also a document checklist on page 4 of the application form for reference. So the last one then is a question again raised on the 12th regarding checklist again. So apologies if this has already been asked, but is there a checklist of all the documents that need to be submitted as part of the application? Some documents have it wrote on, others don't. It's just difficult to navigate through each document. So again, same as the last question, so you'll need to provide Volume 5 accounts for 2 years or an acceptable alternative, the insurance form, pricing, supplier setup form, and again, there is a document checklist on page 4 of the application form for reference. So that covers the last of the clarification questions relating to process that I did want to cover. I can see a notification in the chat. Hi there. No questions as of yet. So if there are any questions relating to process today, if you would like to look at popping those in the Q&A function now, we can get on and look into answer those questions. Or again, if there are any technical questions that you would like to raise, I can take these back to North Yorkshire County Council for answer. I will be pushing out the answers in the follow-up email on the back of today's session. These may also be answered in the clarification questions if they were to be added or asked as a clarification question originally. So if any of you are also unaware, there is the option to book one-to-one sessions with Go for Growth. If you are wanting any further more in-depth support, I will pop actually the link to our booking session in the chat function if anybody would like to book a session with either myself or my colleague Jill. The sessions are half an hour one-to-one sessions. It gives you a chance to run through any part of the application that you may be struggling with or would want some further support with on the back of today's drop-in session. So I've popped the link to the one-to-one booking calendar in the chat function now. If anybody, as I've said, would like to book a session with either myself or my colleague Jill. So as we'd said at the beginning of the session, if there are no new questions for us to run over, today's session is a 45-minute session. However, if there are no questions for us to be running through, if you are happy with what we've run through regarding the clarification question updates this morning, we are able to end the session sooner. I will leave the chat on for a few extra moments to give a chance for anybody else to ask any questions. I do believe we have just had one through. So the question that's just come through, so we've had to update our account to our current contracts officer. Would she have been issued with a new username, or does she set up again? So can I just clarify, have you added a new user to your existing account, or have you created a whole new account? If you've created a whole new account, you will have created a new username when you created the new Your Tender account. However, if you have just added a user, you will be just logging in with your existing account details, so existing username and password. So do please let me know, Barbara, if that does cover or answer the question raised. Okay, so moving on from there, so you can't get onto the existing account as the person before has gone, so you aren't aware of the username. So if you have created a new account, then it will be a new username. You should be, if you still have access to the email address which the account or the previous account was originally set up with, you should be able to reset the password. However, if you go to the login page, you can press forgotten username and it will send a reset to the email address registered. However, of course, that is only if you do still have access to the original email address. If not, unfortunately, it would be a case of creating a new account. If you haven't already done so, Go for Growth do have video tutorials on our YouTube account covering the registration process. If you would like a step-by-step Word document sending over or PDF, I can also send that over to you, Barbara, if you haven't already managed to create a new account. Okay, so if you've tried to set up a new account and it does say that the username was already in existence, that indicates that the email that you are trying to use is linked to the previous account. So have you tried using the forgotten password link on the login page? I hope that helps. If for any reason that doesn't work, Barbara, please do. I will pop my email address again in the chat function. If you drop me an email if that doesn't work and we can set up one of the half-an-hour one-to-one sessions, we'll run through that and get you on. So my email is also in the chat function now for anybody with any further questions. If you are struggling with anything and don't feel that you need a full half-an-hour one-to-one session. Very welcome, Barbara. Hey Ronnie, I can see in the chat function that you just popped asking if there's any way, when you say asking for help, are you meaning asking a question during this this webinar, or are you looking for one-to-one support? If you are just wanting to ask a question in today's session, you can pop your question in the chat function as you just have, or you can use the Q&A function. If you are looking for one-to-one support, if you'd like to. Okay, so you have just clarified one-to-one support. So if you can see the booking link, which I added to the chat function earlier in today's session, If you want to follow that, you can book a one-to-one session with either myself, Lauren, or my colleague Jill. I will just clarify, I have noticed that I have actually come into today's webinar on Jill's Zoom account, so apologies for any confusion. I am Lauren, and my colleague Gillian also offers the one-to-one support, usually runs these drop-in sessions. You're very welcome. Again, I did mention this at the beginning of the drop-in session. So the deadline for clarification questions is tomorrow, so the 15th of July at 12 noon. That is for clarification questions. For any process related support, Go for Growth are on hand up until the submission deadline, which is the 22nd of July, again 12 noon. So any process related support, you are still able to make contact, book a session with Go for Growth, and we will be hosting the final drop-in session a week today, again at 10 AM for 45 minutes. So anybody that has registered for any of the previous drop-in sessions or today's drop-in session, we will also be sending a reminder of the final drop-in session, again, as I've just mentioned, taking place next week, same time as today, 10 AM for 45 minutes. Can't see any further questions in the chat function or the Q&A. Oh, speak too soon, one's just come through. Brilliant, thanks very much for that. I am just going to leave it a few more moments to see if any further questions do come through. But as I said at the beginning of the session, if we don't get any further questions, if we are needing to end the session sooner, I do appreciate that you are all probably rather busy if you're wanting to get on with the applications. As I said previously, you can reach out to myself or my colleague Jill using email or, again, booking a one-to-one session. Okay, so it does look as though that seems to be it for the questions for today's session. As I said earlier in the recording, I will be pushing out a recording of this session later today. It will be sent to any registrants from today, so you all will receive, and it will also be uploaded to our Facebook and LinkedIn pages. Please, again, don't hesitate to get in touch with Go for Growth from now until the 22nd for any further process-related support. Thank you very much for your time today.